मैन पावर ने बोला था 900 रुपये देगा, लेकिन वहाँ गया तो हमको 900 नहीं दिया, 546 रुपये दिया। मेरा काम था जो चेयर बनाते थे वो चेयर 1500 होता था एक दिन का। काम भी हार्ड था और पैसा भी आप देता था। कर नहीं सकता था वो काम, दिन भर कर नहीं सकता था।
High above the Kathmandu Valley in Nepal's Dhulikhel district, Dhan Bahadur Waiba recounts his ordeal of the past 5 months. The killer quake in April, which brought death and destruction to Nepal, also left his house badly damaged. Waiba was a manual worker, but after the quake, work dried up. Desperately in need of money to repair his home, he took a loan of 1 lakh Nepalese rupees, the equivalent of $950 from a money lender, and paid an agent to take him to Malaysia. Instead of the job he was promised, he became a virtual prisoner.
हमने बोला कंपनी को हम नेपाल वापस जाएंगे, आप जाना देंगे या हमारे पैसे से जाओ। बोला कंपनी बोलता है तुम लोग वापस नहीं जा सकते, तुमको तो हम खरीद के लाए हैं, वैसे बोल दिया कंपनी वाले।
It's only when things got really bad that Waiba, with the help of other workers, managed to call his family in Nepal for help. An NGO they contacted took 40 days to convince his company to release him and allow him to come back home. But other workers remained trapped in grim conditions with little access to medical aid.
मैं थोड़ा बीमार हूँ, मुझे मेडिकल भेज दो बोला, कंपनी नहीं भेजा। 10-12 दिन बैठ गया, फिर 2-4 दिन काम में गया, फिर ऐसे बीमार पड़ गया, फिर 10-12 दिन बैठ गया, ऐसे बीमार पड़ गया। कभी तो खाने के लिए भी पैसे नहीं होता था, पैसे भी नहीं होता था, ऐसा ही दोस्त लोग ने खाने के लिए देता था। ऐसा लोग बहुत है जो घर पे आने चाहते थे, लेकिन आना चाहता है वो लोग फिर आ नहीं सकते। क्यों? आप उसका पासपोर्ट भी और कंपनी वाला रखते हैं, उसको नहीं देता है ना पासपोर्ट, तो लोग तरस देता है कि बाहर निकलेगा, ये गेट से बाहर निकलेगा तो हम पुलिस को बोला कि तुमको पकड़ा देंगे, ऐसे बोल रहा है कंपनी वाला।
तो आप जब 4 महीने थे आप बाहर गए?
हम बाहर गए थे, 2-3 बार बाहर गए तो हमको भी ऐसे ही बोला था।
Dhan Bahadur's home is on the verge of collapse. It was weakened in the earthquake. He had hoped that he could earn enough money to try and rebuild this house, but that clearly has fallen through. Instead, he and his family are now rushing to quickly ensure that before winter sets in, they at least have some kind of a roof over their head. Winter in Nepal can be especially harsh. Adarsh Waiba, Dhan Bahadur's 70-year-old mother, who looks after this small patch of land in front of the house, knows it's not big enough to feed her family of 6, including 2 grandchildren. These fiery red chilies, a family favorite, used to go into a homemade pickle. Now she carefully dries them next to a wood fire in the hope of selling them. If life was tough in Nepal's Sindhupal Chowk district, one of the poorest regions before the quake, the situation is now desperate. 26 people were killed in Irku village, the quake not sparing even a single building. With the school building damaged, Nepal's future are being tutored in tents along the roadside, as mothers line up in the shadow of the damaged school building to get food rations. Well, the road to recovery is a long and slow one. This, in fact, is a long line of people out here from Irku village where they lost 26 lives because of the earthquakes, many houses damaged, and also irrigation channels which were destroyed. The World Food Programme, along with several local NGOs, now trying to provide them work for food, and so that they can end up building up those irrigation channels, allowing them to once again get back to farming. Until then, this is perhaps the only way they can try and earn a little money to get on with their lives.
They're getting cash for work. They have to work for 40 days.
Little bit pull out in the recovery because they will rehab their irrigation canal. Then they could irrigate their paddy or wheat, and they will get the yield more.
The situation has now forced almost 200 people from this village alone to go abroad to earn a living, according to non-government organizations. But many finding themselves trapped in a foreign land without hope.
अभी हमको तो इधर अभी पैसा नहीं है, अभी समस्या तो जाना पड़ता है ना काम करने की। अभी उधर से तो इधर पैसा नहीं आता है, नहीं मिलता है। अभी हमको भाषा नहीं आता है, उन लोग को काम नहीं जानता है, हमको इधर को काम से नहीं मिलता है, उधर बहुत काम करना पड़ता है। भाषा नहीं जाने का तो बहुत मुश्किल है, वो लोग पीटता है ना, कूटता है, मारता है। अभी आप हमको भाषा आएगा तो मुश्किल नहीं है ना। मुश्किल नहीं है।
आप तो हंस रहे हो, आप तो इतना मुश्किल है आपके पास तभी आप हंस रहे हो।
हंसने का तो बहुत मुश्किल है, नहीं दिल हंसता है। क्यों वो सब लोग को हम ही रोता है, नहीं रोता है हमको। हाँ अभी सब लोग को
Jiga Mai Thapa had been working as a domestic help in Kuwait for several years. She says she got used to being beaten up. She returned 2 months ago from Kuwait after her house was also destroyed in the quake. Torn between staying back to help rebuild, she says she has no option but to go back abroad to earn if her family is to survive. According to estimates of the National Human Rights Commission of Nepal, foreign workers contribute 1/4 of the country's gross domestic product, or GDP, but it comes at an increasingly heavy price. NGOs and the NHRC say that human trafficking has also shot up. A game of cat and mouse between law enforcement and traffickers, with traffickers always looking for new routes and accomplices. In July this year, the Delhi police stumbled onto one such gang operating across both countries. An alert immigration official at the Indira Gandhi International Airport in Delhi noticed that the passports of a group of Nepalese girls going to Dubai were fake. Further investigations revealed that 2 Air India ground handlers were involved, leading to the arrest of 2 traffickers from Nepal and 2 from India.
We know some people made a crime in India, they come to Nepal. Some people made a crime in Nepal, they go to India, and they
escape the law.
Yeah, escape a law, and this need to be addressed seriously.
According to the NHRC, NGOs have managed to rescue almost 3,000 Nepali women from homes of abusive or exploitative employers abroad between 2009 and 2011. Many illegally held against their will and sexually assaulted. Of them, the highest proportion from Saudi Arabia, 35.5%, followed by Lebanon and Kuwait.
Even I think sometimes when you have animals, household animals in your home, you treat better. But these people, these housemaids in Middle East, are treated even not like animals. For Nepali agents or trafficker or let's say procurer or buyer or sender, we definitely try on our level best to prosecute here in Nepal. But more than that, there's a boundary that we cannot go onwards. I know that the main culprits are in Middle East, who buys them and who use them. But so far we cannot go. We cannot go because our hands are tied, and until and unless international. Even when we spoke to the people, especially our envoys based in these countries, they say without the permission of the house owner, they cannot enter their respective house. And how can we or our government, our police can go and approach them? It's impossible. So that's why it is impossible for to prosecute these people who buys them, who exploits them.
After the break, how young women are being forced into the sex trade in Nepal and what's being done to crack down against traffickers.
Afghanistan. कहाँ को अफगानिस्तान? चितवनको।